Hey guys, welcome to our next laundry chat. My bed is not even made, so let's not look at that. But I got a request from one of you guys that I thought would be perfect for like this next like little sit down chat. So it has to do with screen time. It has to do with whether or not like we've changed our views on screen time. The person was basically saying that it seems like we've cut down on screen time. So like, let's just chat a little bit about screen time. I know that that's probably like a very hot topic right now because most kids are like in summertime now and they're home, and then the parents are trying to figure out what to do with their kids. And I don't know, I feel like screen time has been popping up more and more. So if you're not new to my channel, you guys know for a very long time I have been a proponent of screen time. Not like unlimited access to screen time, whatever kids want to watch, but I've always been very vocal about how, I don't know, I feel like there are some benefits to screen time. And so I would say that my views haven't really changed on that. Like, I do think that there is value in some kind of screen time. We homeschool the kids, and so the kids are home a lot. And the idea of just being completely screen free for us, like, that's not gonna work for us. I know it works for a lot of families, and if it works for you, like, I'm not telling you like, wow, you suck as a parent because you don't let them have screen time. It's just not ever been like our family's culture to eliminate all screen time. What I will say is that we have cut back a lot in terms of like devices. So there was a time in our life, in the kids' life, where I would give them access to the iPad a lot more regularly. They would play games and they would like go do quiet time with their iPads. And that has changed probably for a number of reasons. Number one, Riley is now 6. Riley has gotten a lot older. So now she can like, if I were to give her her iPad, for example, she can like search for things. She can spell things. And so I have to be a lot more careful with like what I give her, because I know that she is smarter now and she's capable of figuring things out. Obviously, I don't want her just, you know, watching whatever the heck she wants. I want to make sure that I still feel very in control of what she watches. So I hope that makes sense. I also got to the point where, I don't know, like my big thing, I don't mind that they watch TV. I don't even mind that every once in a while they play some kind of game. But I get really upset when I just see my kids like glued to a device or to a screen looking like a zombie. Like for me, that's when I get just like annoyed and I'm like, that's it, everybody turn the TV off, because I don't ever want my kids to be so attached to a device. And I maybe that it's just triggered because I see myself so much like that. Like I see myself attached to my phone 24/7 and I'm like, that's not a good look. So I don't want my kids to live in that world. Like I already know that there's a lot of work that I myself have to do to become like unaddicted to my phone, like straight up and honest. Like I have a lot of work to do in that area. I've always told you guys part of it is like because of my job and what I do, but I have to work on that. So I don't want to like, I don't know, raise my kids to be so obsessed with technology that then they can't, I don't know, like you set them up for failure almost. You let them become addicted to something and then later down the road they realize how unhealthy it is and then they have to like unlearn a whole bunch of things. That's kind of like the space where I'm at, where I'm trying to make sure that they know that it can be a tool, but that it's not their only source of entertainment and that it's not like this all obsessive kind of thing. I'm sure you guys have seen like on Instagram and stuff when I share homeschool videos and stuff, we use actually the TV a lot as a family downstairs, like for homeschool purposes. So if we're doing a unit study on something, on animals, on snakes, we find snake documentaries and we watch them. On Disney Plus, there's like a little section that's like National Geographic. And so Riley will spend a lot of time there watching the National Geographic videos. We also have like Discovery Plus, so they have like all the Shark Week videos there. Like anything like that, we love to watch. I use YouTube a lot when we're learning about something. Like it's funny, I'm planning for next year. I'm planning for next year's curriculum. And next year we're gonna be doing history, which is like a whole other thing. But there's gonna be a lot of topics that we're gonna cover, and one of them is gonna be like the Roman Empire. So I was on YouTube the other day just looking at what kind of like YouTube videos for kids might help them to like understand the Roman Empire. And there's a lot of material out there. So I do think that it can be used well to kind of supplement their learning. But I just want to make sure that it's not all day, all the time, that if for some reason that on the days where I'm like, you know what, we've had enough screen time, like go play outside, go figure something out, that they're not like, what do we do? Because they don't know what life looks like outside of a device. So yeah, no iPads, just because I also like for their own like eyeballs, like I don't want them that close to a screen all the time. And I don't give them their iPads anymore like in their room. There's no TV in their room. Like I don't want them to, especially like at this age, like they're 6 and 4. So there's no reason, in my opinion, for them to have a TV in their room, for them to be searching and watching whatever they want like on their own. Like if you want to watch something, we're all watching it together in the family room. So making sure that they know that there are some restrictions to what they watch. And every once in a while, like they'll put something on TV, like they'll find some show on Disney or whatever, and I'll look at the show and I'll be like, no, not that. And then sometimes Riley will be like, but why? It's about unicorns or about whatever. And I'm like, because mama doesn't think it's appropriate. And that is the rule in our family. If I say I don't want you to watch that, like yes, there's initially some pushback, but they know that at the end of the day, I'm the one that has final say over what, you know, they're gonna watch. Joe and I have the final say. But there's definitely good things about screen time. There's bad things. Good thing, like even like talking about like the National Geographic shows and the documentaries that we watch when we do homeschool, it's not even just like those documentaries that help them to connect concepts. Like we were doing a unit study, funny enough, like about ponds and ducks and frogs and stuff. And so that's what we've been doing in like our little nature science summer thing that we're doing. And then the kids were watching the movie, was it on Netflix? I don't know what it's called, but it's like an animated movie called Migration. It's super cute. It's about like ducks, this family of like mallard ducks and whatever. So when we were doing the unit study, they were able to be like, oh, that's a mallard, like in migration, like cute things like that, which I really appreciate because it's a way for them to learn through the screens. Then there's like the negative that, yeah, it can become like a crutch. It can become like the only source of entertainment or the only way that kids know how to entertain themselves. And I really don't want that to be my kids' future. Like I look at teenagers these days and I am so depressed because I feel like nobody knows how to interact anymore. Nobody knows how to be social. Like it's gonna be hard. Like the next few years ahead of us, like I know that they're gonna be rough in terms of technology and just parenting in general, and like their friends, and do their friends have phones, and what do they watch? Like it's gonna be hard to navigate. So I'm prepping myself up for the fact that it's gonna be hard. But I do feel like at least right now, like if my kids don't have a TV, they're plenty entertained. There's things that they can find. They entertain themselves, they go outside, they like find snails. They were snail hunting this morning. That's literally the first thing they did when they woke up. So I don't feel like it's become like that kind of like only source of entertainment for them, which is why I then allow them to watch certain things. But I will say that if there's a day where I feel like they were on like watching TV way too much, the next day I try to balance it out. I'm just like we balance it out kind of person. Like I'm not an all or nothing personality. I try to just kind of make sure that it's not like all day, and then the days where I feel like it's been too much the day before, then the next day I just, you know, say, hey, we're not gonna turn on the TV. And then really for Riley too, I feel like it's been cool to watch how like she uses screens. So she uses the TV downstairs. She's now at a point where I taught her, maybe it was a bad idea, maybe it was an okay idea, but I taught her how to, like we have the Apple TV and there's like the little microphone button, and so like she can search for things if you press down like the microphone button. So I taught her how to do that because she was trying to like ask me like, how do you spell sharks? And then I would have to like spell out the word that she was asking for, so I taught her how to use a microphone. So it's really funny and interesting to see how like at any point in our day, she'll ask me like random facts, right? Like why does a volcano like erupt? Like random things like that. And I'll be like, Mom, I don't know, I have to look it up. She's like, I'll go ask YouTube. So she'll go to YouTube and she'll search, you know, that topic, volcanoes, erupting, whatever. And so like she has connected, like if I don't know the answer to something, I can go somewhere else to find information on that. I know that that can be obviously dangerous, so I only allow her to do that when she's around me. I think that there's something to be said about learning how to use technology and learning how to be resourceful and how to find information, because if you think about it, that's kind of like how we live our lives as adults. Like I am almost 34 years old, and I live my life like that always. Like I'm going about my day, I don't know how to do something, and I know like, oh, okay, if I don't know how to do that thing, I know where to go to find the information. And I think that it can be helpful to teach our children, obviously at whatever age and extent you feel is appropriate for your kids, but there's something to be said about learning how to use technology for your benefit, to help you, to help others. And I think that the idea of completely like just not introducing technology at all maybe can like be kind of like a bad thing in its own way. So I don't know. I know that I'm not ever gonna have like the perfect answer on that. And the biggest thing is that like I know that I can adjust and I can change. Just because I used to let the kids have their iPads all the time doesn't mean that that had to always be the case. Like if I deem that it's appropriate to change my mind, then I can change my mind. And Riley will ask me. She will ask me because obviously she's older and she remembers, and she'll be like, how come I used to have my iPad so much more than I have it now? And I'll just straight up tell her like, because you're older, because I don't want you to be on your iPad all the time, or because I feel like there's so many more fun things that you can do without, you know, being glued to the iPad. And so now things like the iPad and the games and the Xbox, because Joe even has like an Xbox, and the kids will play Minecraft every once in a while, they see it now like more as a treat. And so far that has really worked. In terms of like behavior, because that's the other thing that I feel like technology, I don't know, you hear all the people that hate screen time, like they'll report the studies about behavior and like whatever, about behavior, bad behavior associated with the use of technology. The only thing I'm going to tell you is that I personally don't really see too much of a difference when the kids aren't using technology, whether they're on the TV all day or not on the TV all day. I still find that they are whiny and that they fight and that they have their tantrums. Like, I have not gotten to the point where I'm like, wow, because I took away the iPad, these children just are like night and day different. Maybe I haven't done a deep enough detox or like completely cut out screens, but I haven't really noticed like a night and day difference. So just take my opinion with a grain of salt. Obviously you have to figure out what is best for your family, but I am okay with having some screen time. Don't let people like scare you into being like, if you give your kid an ounce of TV, that's it, you failed as a parent, you're such a lazy mother. Like, you know what, sometimes you have to cook dinner, and sometimes you need your kids to sit on the couch for like 5 minutes so you can do something. Like, it's okay, and your kids will be all right. Just balance it out as, you know, you feel would be appropriate. So that's it. That's kind of my take on screen time these days. I hope that was helpful. I love your faces, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.